Welcome to another episode of Monday Mukbang.
Monday Mukbang. Mukbang Monday. What?
We have a new tablecloth here.
So, we are eating goulash for dinner.
Goulash.
Do you want me to tell you what's in it?
Yes, tell us what is in it.
Okay, we've got penne, the pasta. We have Gardein ground, round.
Okay.
The big size, the family size. We also have a can of tomatoes. Just tomatoes, no salt added. Pretty much just tomatoes. And then
Butter, get down.
we have some red pepper, black pepper, a little bit of rosemary. We have garlic salt, onion salt, or garlic powder, onion powder, and a big tab of Miyoko's butter, and a marinara sauce, store-bought marinara sauce. And that's it.
Okay.
I can't remember. Oh, and a little bit of olive oil. Nothing.
Alright. I'm actually going to put a little bit of Go Veggie grated Parmesan on here. This is the vegan version.
And so is me.
They do make a vegetarian version too, but
So am I.
we actually got a comment. I'm not sure, we're a little bit behind on comments, but we got a comment on our spaghetti mukbang a couple weeks ago
It's like we're a lot on time.
asking how our Go Veggie's not like super clumped up, and do we keep it in the refrigerator? And just in case we haven't responded to that comment by the time this posts, we do keep it in the refrigerator. And
Holy crap.
to be perfectly honest, what I do when I get it out of the refrigerator,
Beat the crap out of me.
yeah, and then I'll twist it around and do that a little bit. So if you're wondering why it's not clumpy, it's because we shake it up really well before we start using it, so that it's not clumpy.
Sit down.
But it will clump. Absolutely, we agree 100% with you that it will clump.
It is pumping.
So yeah, it has to get beat up a little bit to make sure that it's not so clumpy. This video is posting
No, it's not.
on Nick's birthday. Woo! Or I'm sorry, the day before Nick's birthday.
There you go.
So if you're watching this today, it posts on Memorial Day in the US, May 28th. Tomorrow is Nick's birthday. So happy birthday, Nick. How old are you gonna be?
11.
11 years old. And I figured we could talk all about Nick today.
All about the Nick.
Yeah. Nicholas, I guess we could start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start.
There you go.
What reference is that? Can you get it?
I'm sure they can get it.
It is from a movie. First off, I want to say, I don't know that we've tried the veggie ground round from Gardein in a pasta dish before. Wednesday wants a bite. And this actually is really good. Some of the ground rounds that we've tried in sauce and pasta dishes and stuff, they'll start to break down if they're in liquid. This is actually holding together really well.
I did this a little differently.
Okay.
The recommended way to prepare this ground round was to cook it in sauce and just like let it heat up in the sauce. The problem with that is that for this dish, the idea is to toss the spaghetti and the sauce, the meat, and everything else together in one spot.
Okay.
I cooked it in 2 separate pans this time, only because Nick seemed hungry, so I made 2 pounds of the penne, which doesn't really leave a lot of room. And I did not want to end up with over or undercooked things, so I cooked the ground round in its own separate dish, along with the sauce. And before I did anything to the ground round, I browned it fairly significantly.
Okay.
Now the key to me browning it was I used some of the pasta water to keep it liquidy so that it maintained that starchy water, I believe, I hope, in my heart, I hoped, it would help it maintain its moisture and not break down. It did.
Well, it did pretty good. Like I said, I don't know if it's because it's the Gardein, and I don't remember the brands we've tried. We've tried a whole bunch of different veggie ground rounds.
Yeah.
So I can't say for sure if we've tried a Gardein in this capacity before, but it's actually really good. It actually has a consistency like hamburger, which we don't always get when we mix it in with spaghetti sauce. Sometimes it gets very
broken down.
Broken down, yeah. Anyway, back to Nick.
Yep. Can't escape.
I had gestational diabetes with Nick.
Oh, no. That was scary.
I had gestational diabetes with, well, I was not diagnosed with diabetes with Neil. But I also come from big babies. Like my mom was a petite woman. She was not very big. She was 5'5" and was typically around like 140, 150 pounds. So she wasn't like skinny, but she was like small, if that makes sense. And she had big babies. I have one brother who at birth was like 12, 13 pounds, something like that.
Right.
I was over 9. I have a sister who was like 11 or 12 pounds. So we all were big babies, except for her first. I'm one of 6 children, and my parents had a few children that had physical disabilities, and they were smaller. And then my older sister was like just shy of 9 pounds. So I come from big kids. Now, apparently when I was born, they didn't test my mom for gestational diabetes until after I was born, which I found to be really weird because they test during pregnancy now, not after. Because once I had Nick, they tested me in the hospital and it was gone, like the day I had him. But anyhow, they induced me with him because I did have gestational diabetes and because Neil was big. Neil was 9 pounds, half an ounce. But Nicholas at birth was 10 pounds, 3.4 ounces. So he was a big boy. So that's where Nicholas began. He began as a big boy. Then he got real skinny. He lost a lot of weight real quick, and he was skinny for a really long time. And now you see where he's at right now. And his weight goes up and down based on how much he's grown up and stuff. But I think he's getting ready for a little growth spurt, aren't you? I think. Mm-hmm. I think so. Mm-hmm. So,
my favorite story about Nick is that, I don't know if you're going to let this stand or not, but
when Nick was being born.
Nick came out feet first, and then as you saw him come out, you saw both hands sort of like this, and one hand had his, what you call it too?
Umbilical cord.
Umbilical cord in it, that it was ripped off at the end. And the nurse looked at Nick and called him a bruiser. Partially due to his very large size and the fact that he was holding his own umbilical cord in some sort of...
And it was around his neck too.
...aggressive fashion. It was around his neck. He managed to survive all that. Nick was a pretty tough kid.
They did almost take me in to get a C-section,
right.
An unplanned C-section, but they did not. We ended up being born naturally.
Right.
I always tell people, so Neil, I did not have an epidural. With Nick, I did have an epidural, and I always tell people that Neil slept through his birth and I slept through Nick's birth. Because right. Neil, when he was born, his heart rate was steady, and when you're in labor, the baby's heart rate's supposed to be going all over the place because it's being born. But yeah, so Neil slept through his birth, I slept through Nick's birth. They literally had to wake me up to push for Nick. So, but anyway.
So Nick, I forget how long was he?
21 3/4 inches, I believe.
Something like, yeah, 21 inches long, so almost 22. Mm-hmm. Big kid.
And mind you, I was induced 2 weeks early.
Yeah. He was pretty cool as a baby. One of his favorite activities, one of the ways that, you know, almost all kids have lullabies. Nick's lullaby was the first Noel.
Yeah.
So one of the few ways that his mother and I could get some sleep was not that he was an overtly cranky baby.
No, he was a good baby.
He slept fairly well, and when you just needed to know that when it was time, put him down, you had to sing First Noel. He did like rocking. He was big into the.
He also had a mobile that he absolutely loved.
He did.
That broke.
Yeah, that was traumatic.
And that was a mess because we couldn't find it again.
No.
And
I don't even,
he was really, really upset. And what we actually ended up having to do was keep the music box part of it because it wouldn't spin anymore.
Right.
We kept the music box part of it so we could still play the song. He just wouldn't have the mobile anymore.
Yeah.
But we would just wind up the box and it would play the song for him.
Like 3 scoops back.
But anyway, I don't know if we've actually said this on this channel before, but Nicholas does have a diagnosis. He is on the autism spectrum. He goes to a reading class, but he is in his math class and science class with his class and social studies. So
he has some specialized classes, but for the most part, he interacts with his peers as best that he can. He does have his favorites, peers.
yeah, and what grade are you in, Nick? What are you about to finish? Actually, when this posts, you're going to finish in 3 days.
What?
What grade are you in?
4.
4th grade. Almost 5th grader, because you're going to be a 5th grader a couple of days after this video post, because school ends on what day?
June 1st.
June 1st, baby.
June 1st. So,
And we're excited.
down bed.
Everyone is excited about that.
Everyone's excited about that.
So, Nick, since we're talking all about you,
What's your favorite story about you?
what's your favorite memory? What do you remember and makes you most happy about yourself?
Yeah. What's your favorite childhood memory? What do you remember the most of?
Myrtle Beach.
You like going to the beach.
What?
Nick was a big Thomas the Tank Engine fan, weren't ya?
Mm-hmm.
We had so many trains. We had movies.
Mm-hmm.
We even went to go see Thomas the Train.
Yes. We took a ride on him.
Yep, Thomas took us around on a train train ride.
In the Strasbourg Railroad.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
What?
There wasn't a whole. Nick really got into it.
I don't know that he remembers it now because he was only like, what, 4 or so when we did that? So it was several years ago.
Nick does have some memory issues. Not 100% of the time.
And then he'll pull out something like, hey Mom, do you remember this one thing you randomly said 3 years ago that I couldn't possibly even remember in any way, shape, or form? But you said it, Mom. You said like this one sentence. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So there's all those things.
What's your favorite memory?
Yeah, what's your favorite memory?
I know you said Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach.
What else?
What about either that or give us something more specific about Myrtle Beach that you remember?
That I remember, I went to a pool. It has a beach and a pool at Myrtle Beach.
You did.
They also have a breakfast bar.
Yes, they did. That was important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Breakfast bars.
Our children, Nick's not as much as Neil. So when we go on vacation, what's the first thing you ask us to make sure the hotel has? What does the hotel have to have?
It's not a quiz.
A number?
No. What's your favorite thing at the hotel?
A pool.
A pool.
A pool.
Nick has to make sure that there is a pool at the hotel. And when you ask Neil, his favorite thing
It's just playing around with his phone.
is what?
No, free breakfast.
I know that,
It's free breakfast.
but he always likes to play his phone a while.
He does like to play on his phone.
But anytime we go on vacation, this kid's request is it has to have a pool, and Neil's request is it has to have a free breakfast. And John and I have tried to explain to him that usually the free breakfast is not exactly Yeah,
best.
delicious.
No.
Now,
Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
I mean, I usually like to eat oatmeal when I go to a hotel breakfast. Why are you laughing?
Good.
And that can be good or bad. If they make it with too much water, if they make it with not enough water, it can be good or bad. And I pile on, I usually use at least 2 tablespoons of brown sugar.
She does.
The worst vacation, or the worst hotel experience I had actually involved oatmeal. Not the worst. The worst hotel breakfast I had involved oatmeal. I was at a Hampton Inn in Alexandria, Virginia. And if you've ever been to a Hampton Inn, they just have like the quick breakfast buffet thing. So I got a big bowl of oatmeal.
Yeah.
I walked over to, you know, they have like nuts and raisins and brown sugar, right? So I took like 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, put it in my bowl, went over and sat down, mixed it all in, and took a bite. And that's when I realized it wasn't brown sugar. They had cinnamon sitting there instead of brown sugar. So I had a big bowl of cinnamon oatmeal, which isn't bad. It just wasn't what I was expecting. So I was a little disappointed.
I mean, if you put that much cinnamon
And
in
it was very dry. It actually made my oatmeal dry because I had a whole bowl of like, I mean, not a whole bowl, but I had like 2 tablespoons of cinnamon in my oatmeal.
Right. The cinnamon challenge.
Yeah.
Cinnamon challenge. I just like bowl
But-
of cinnamon.
Nicholas loves staying in hotels. That's one of Nick's things.
Going in the pool.
And it's not even so much that he wants to be like on vacation away. Like if we just stayed at a hotel here in our town, he'd be okay with that. As long as it had a pool.
Right.
And Nikki really likes our pool because, why? There's actually 4 pools at our pool. Why are you opening your mouth? You've been there forever. You know that it has 4 pools.
I'm surprised.
So it has a little baby pool that's like less than a foot, or it's only a foot, something like that. And then they have a second pool that I think goes up to like 2 or 3 feet for like toddlers. So they have the baby pool, they have the toddler pool.
They also have a bathtub.
Then they don't have a hot tub.
No.
Then they have a third pool, which is like a lap pool. I think it starts at 3 feet and it ends at 5, so it's not really like big difference. And it's longer. Well, it's not like super long. I'll get to the big long one. But I think that's more like a lap pool, I think.
Right.
I don't know, because it's not like super deep either. Then there's the main pool. And the main pool is our favorite.
Right.
All time.
The deep end is 8 feet, so you can dive. There's no like diving board, but you can dive off the end. What?
They also have slides.
You could tell them. What else do they have?
Slides.
Our pool has water slides. And how many water slides does it have?
2.
Nope.
I mean, 3.
It has 3. It has 2 just water slides, then the third one actually goes into the pool.
Yeah.
But it is a water slide. It has water going down into it.
Me and Dad always likes to race each other with which one goes down in
Well, which one's the fastest?
the blue one.
Why don't you take the blue one?
Because it's fast.
No,
Because
you don't
it's
take it
enclosed.
because it's scary.
It's not scary.
You
It
don't do so.
has an exposed
Every time you always go down there, you almost like close your eyes.
Well, I close my eyes.
it has an exposed and a closed
Slide.
slide. Thank you. Couldn't remember the word.
He only gave me a 10-second head start.
I gave you. Yeah. I gave you.
But the big
I am-
pool is the one that we usually hang out in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I said, it's got an 8-foot deep side, and then it's long. It's like an Olympic length pool.
Yeah.
Pool.
And almost,
The other one that I said was like a lap pool isn't Olympic length, but I think this one is. I think the big one is.
they also have a slide near that pool. I always goes
Yes.
on. Every time I always go on there, I always been ready, and sometimes Dad always put water all over me.
Yes, I squirt water from the side of the pool onto Nick on the slide. Once he hit,
At the end.
once he gets close to the end, I'm close enough where I can throw water on the slide onto him, and he thinks that's hilarious.
And another fun fact about our pool.
It just has goggles.
Well,
It has goggles.
they have goggles. They have like noodles and stuff that you can borrow. But my favorite fun fact about this pool
Is
is it is the only place on this planet that we've been recognized as Omnis vegan.
Yes, that's true.
I don't know if the young man who saw John, there was a young, what was he, like maybe 11, 12 years old. He walked up to John and was like, I know you. And John's like, well, okay.
Right.
He was probably nicer than that, but I wasn't there. I actually was not there that time. It was during the day when these guys had off and I was at work. And he's like, no, I watch you on YouTube. You're Omnis vegan. So it's the only time we have ever been recognized in public. Not me, obviously, John.
Yes.
But it's the only time we've ever been recognized in public. So, if you are watching this and you were that young man who recognized John in our pool, because you know where it is, comment down below, say, hey, it was me.
All right, there you go.
But what is your name?
Or hey, it was my son, or whatever. But that was back when we were still just doing the taste tests and the cooking videos. And I think that's probably why he recognized you, is because the cooking videos when you were in it pretty much by yourself.
Yeah. The boys always taste tested my cooking.
But that was cool.
Yeah.
Anybody else out there who posts YouTube videos? Now, like I said, I've never been recognized in public, so I can't say that I've had that experience. But it's so cool knowing that John was. If you do YouTube or you do anything else, and the first time somebody recognized you in public, I bet you that was really cool.
It was.
So they did not recognize Nick. I don't think Nick was there. Maybe he was or
there.
wasn't.
He just probably. Nick likes to go for various haircuts.
Oh gosh.
He's a haircutting.
Nick.
I don't want to be bald.
Back to Nick.
Yeah. Back to
One day and the next day can be totally different for Nick. One day, he can just be totally chatty. He wants to talk to everybody. He'll go up to strangers, start talking to them. The next day,
talks to no one.
somebody he knows comes up to him and says, hey, Nick, and he hides behind us.
Right.
Right, Nick?
Yeah, he thinks that like he knows me or something.
He actually saw a teacher in Target. One of his teachers. Your art teacher? Maybe? One of your teachers. But anyway, we ran into a teacher at Target.
Yeah.
And she walked, what?
We also went to a Burger King and then someone came and it was...
We saw somebody's husband, which is really weird. Nick's, well, let's tell the story in 1 second, okay? But anyway, we saw this teacher in Target, and the teacher started talking to Nick, and Nick like ran away and hid.
Right.
And then we were in a Burger King months ago. This was like the beginning of the school year. And we stopped at a Burger King because it was like the gas station and stuff was there.
It was snowing.
And it was snowing. And anyway, long story short, this guy just randomly started talking to us. He was a UPS guy and randomly started talking to us. And
he said he was...
And he was like, well, where do you go to school? And Nick told him, and he's like, oh my gosh, my wife works there. What grade are you in? And Nick said, I'm in 4th grade. He's like, oh my gosh, my wife's a 4th grade teacher.
Right.
And he says, who do you have for math? And Nick said his math teacher's name. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's my wife.
What?
So it was funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Nick got a good kick out of that.
Yeah, and then Nick went and told his teacher that he saw her husband. And then she went and said,
But then...
I heard you were causing problems at a Burger King.
Hmm?
Yeah. So.
You know what I'd really like to see?
What?
I'd like to see a fast food restaurant have a veggie burger. And some Burger Kings do.
Really?
Some Burger Kings have veggie burgers.
No.
Yeah.
It was like
Not all, but
Right.
some do.
So Nick, just let's break it down. Let's break down Nick. What's your favorite food?
spaghetti,
Spaghetti. What's your favorite color?
blue,
Blue. Your favorite superhero?
Deadpool.
Alright. And
They also they're gonna make a Deadpool 2 at the theaters and on May 18th.
alright, very good. And
What's your favorite school subject?
what do you like to do at school?
Math and do gym and all that.
You
And
like
do
math?
recess.
You like
Nick really
math
likes
and
gym. Yeah.
What's your
Gym's
favorite?
been one of Nick's favorite subjects for a while.
Yeah, what's your favorite sport in gym?
Stop acting like that.
Hmm.
Bowling.
Bowling?
Yeah.
You like to go bowling?
But when I did that when
What about swimming?
Not a favorite.
They do swimming once a year. Or twice a year.
Right.
Once or twice a year. for like a week.
Yeah. That every time I at my school, I just like a couple like months or couple. I had like this swimming class, and
Yes.
I had to do it for like these 5 days.
I have a question for you.
What?
Who is your favorite mom?
What?
Who is your favorite dad? Who's your favorite dog?
Brother, where are you at?
Butter! Butter!
Yeah.
I'll give you a noodle, honey. I'll give you a noodle. You can't see her. She's down here off the side of the screen. Here you go, baby. Butter, Wednesday, you want one? Where you at? When's? When? Over here.
One more scoop.
One more scoop for you. Okay. So,
Who's your favorite brother?
Mine,
Yeah, who's your favorite brother?
what's his name?
Neil.
Neil.
Neil. Rascal.
Don't say it was such a hard puffing there, son.
Well, when we did this game, it called like Call of Duty Black Ops 2. It has a multiplayer, a
So
campaign,
what's your favorite?
and
So then here,
What's your favorite video game?
what's your favorite video?
Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Really?
And like a couple like years ago, me and Neil were doing gun games, and it was like 190, and I like bam, and then I did it again, and he's like, what? And then I did it again. Then I did it again and again, and then he did it.
And who won?
Oh.
Me! Neil gets really upset when Nick beats him in a video game, though. So, I want to try this ground round in tacos. I really like tacos, but we're going to have to try this in tacos. The last time we did tacos, we had a ground round that I wasn't really too fond of. It was okay, but it wasn't really good. This one's really good.
Okay.
So, we'll try
Duly
this.
noted.
What else is your favorites, Nick?
Name
Any
one.
other favorites?
On
What's your favorite movie?
Deadpool.
No.
Yes?
The movie you watch the most is not Deadpool.
That's
Oh.
true.
What's the movie you watch the most?
The Avengers.
Well, Avengers you watch a lot. You do watch the Avengers a lot. You watch a lot of Thomas the Tank Engine. That's a TV show though.
Oh.
So.
What's your favorite thing to drink?
Ginger ale.
Ginger ale.
Ginger.
Oh, I have water.
Here, hold on 1 second. You got a little bit of spaghetti sauce on your finger. There you go. Now that you know everything there is to know about Nick,
Yep.
I hope you guys wish him a happy birthday in the comments. And I will read all the comments to him where everybody says happy birthday.
That's right. Right.
Will that make you feel good?
Right.
That just make me feel special.
Oh.
So, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give Nick a big thumbs up for his
Thumbs up.
birthday. Right?
Thumbs up for Nick.
If you haven't already and you would like to be, hit that red subscribe button for Nick. I have to tell you guys, somebody put a comment here recently that they liked Nick's commentary the best. It was on a taste test video. And Nick literally was like 10 out of 10 just because. And the comment said, I love Nick's commentary the best. But anyway,
Saying 10 out of 10.
if you haven't, hit the bell, hit the little bell to notify you when we do upload new videos.
With Nick.
And if you have any comments, leave those down below. We would love to read them.
I promise I'm gonna get to them.
We will respond to them soon. We hope you're having a great day. We hope you enjoyed this video. I love talking about my kids. I could talk about them all day long, except for when they hold on to my head. So, from Omnis Vegan, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.